Hello everybody, my name is the Lonatron and welcome back to FACTORIOTRON. Today, I'm I'm reconciling with the fact I have no idea what I'm doing, honestly. I've been reconciling with that fact. I would like to issue a very genuine thank you to the people in my comments, both here on YouTube and over on TikTok, who have done their best to tell me exactly where I'm going wrong and reminded me of things that, like, I learned in the last video. Watching me play must be so frustrating. Because I'll learn things and then I'll forget 10 minutes later. Now, today we're going to be double checking everything. That's step one. And then I'm thinking that we tear everything down and reorganize again. I've done it a couple times now. And I've done it once, but I don't know. There's a better, more efficient way to do this, and I am stacked on iron plates right now. So, I'm kind of wondering how we are gonna handle this one. I also realized I don't exactly have the components to make these boilers useful, and I'm just sort of wasting material. This needs an overflow zone, actually, so we're gonna do that first. We're gonna make the overflow, and hopefully that does something. Oh, right. I forgot the controls. I've been playing too much Minecraft recently. Oh no, I don't want it like that. I want it there. And then I take this thing. I put it here like so. There we go. Perfect. Now it has an overflow when these aren't burning, and I need to connect this using. I'm assuming this requires wires. But where do wires sit in the tech tree? Let's see. Automation, electric mining drill, fast inserter, gun turret, lamp, logistics. I'm really not sure how these are supposed to connect. I'm gonna be honest, that is a lot of researches. That's artillery. Atomic bomb, artillery, Spidertron. Okay. Plenty to look forward to. How do I play the game? Let's see. I'm gonna need a lot more copper. And I need a way over this. I need a way to get over the pipes, because the pipes are proving to be one of my biggest failures to date. So we have a lot of problems we need to get through. And a lot to figure out. So what I'm thinking is, since we have this system where it runs like so, what I'm theorizing, what I'm thinking is, if I make a ton of these, ton of transport belts, like a lot. Can I stack these in crafting? Yeah, I can just shift click. That uses like all my materials for them, but who cares? That's the best part of the game. Who cares? Feel free to complain at me in the comments. I'm producing enough iron plates that it's not my problem. I think we should also make something so this doesn't struggle nearly as hard. So my thought process is, this comes down like so, right? And we put a gosh, this is kind of jank, just a little bit. We put this here. We run it on over. Okay. Then we do this. And this is going to connect all of our coal lines. Let me cook. Let me cook. I've got this. I know I've got this. Let's just make a couple of these. We don't need that many of them. And also, we're going to be waiting for a fat second on those conveyor belts. Our queue is filled to the brim. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect it to miners over here. Burner miners. And don't worry, I have taken some of the advice that I got a comment about remembering to put conveyor belts in front of the miners so it doesn't take fuel out. It just it just, you know, it gets out the actually important stuff. Thank you for that, by the way. I don't know if you're watching this. I don't know if you're a return viewer, but if you are, thank you. Let's bring these this way. Right? And then from here, we're going to bring them up and around. And this is going to be where our fuel input goes. So, let's take this thing and put it here. And then we take this and put it here. Would it be easier to just connect them? Sure, but I like the box. The box is cool. Also, it gives me something I can just pop in and out of. It does slow down the rate a little bit, though. I don't like that. I don't want to play with you anymore. So instead, we're going to put this here and this here. And that should speed up the process at least a little bit because the box isn't in the way. I'd connect them directly, but then I worry that, like, there needs to be a choke here somewhere. Otherwise, all this will just flow right on past. I don't need to worry about that. Why am I a little bit dumb? There we go. Now, those will grab as needed, which it doesn't seem like they need it too bad. They're not grabbing, they're not producing steam. These I can't get to because there's pipes in the way. But now these will run over here, up and around into this. Now for the important part. We're gonna make some furnaces. Just a couple. And I am going to pray that I can figure this one out because I'm fairly certain. Oh, time for me to learn another lesson, I'm sure. It's all about learning. It's all about learning. It's all about getting my head on straight and figuring out how to do this. Again, I've played like a bit of Factorio in my time, but obviously not enough for any of it to actually stick. So that is now going to feed into that. Yes. I also have more miners, so let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, and I talked to a friend recently about how many furnaces I need for each miner, and I was informed that I shouldn't need more than a 2-to-1 ratio. Which, good to know. Very, very helpful. Oh, it matters what side it's on. Okay. Good to know. Very solid information to have. I'm just gonna let that do its thing. Then these are all going to need outputs of conveyor belts. I learned my lesson. See, viewer who commented last time, I have learned my lesson. And then we're gonna run them down the strip. I have no idea what I am talking about. And craft more burner inserters. I would really like to use the electric inserters, but I'm frankly not sure how to connect this to an electrical grid. Please, someone in the comments explain it to me. Oh wait, I have a wiki in-game. I'm so stupid. Small electrical pole. Electronics. It's all it takes. 1 wood, 1 copper cable. That's why it's not available in my crafting recipes, because I have not had copper cables yet. How do I make copper cables? Okay. Copper cables are made in the assembling machine. How do I make the assembling machine? God damn it. Okay. We need copper for that, so what's important is getting these copper mines up and running. God did not make me that smart. Alright, and these need fuel. How am I going to run fuel to these without utilizing fuel from electric mining drills? Electric mining drills. Oh, hell. Hell on earth. Okay, how much got stored? Enough to get the primary supply up and running again? Enough to get all of them up and running again? So that we aren't suffering forever and ever. So, for every miner, I'm going to need 2... For every miner, I'm going to need 2 furnaces. How many miners did I set up over here? A lot. A lot. Perhaps a little too many. These need fuel again. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? They always need fuel. I can't wait to get this copper all lined up and nice and pretty so that I don't need to... Okay, so I need to start problem solving. That's the thing right now. I need to start problem solving. I need to accelerate the rate at which I am doing things. Because, oh... Hang on. I see a mechanical arm that's out of fuel. There we go. I think I'm starting to get the hang of things. Keyword being think. Let's clear out these furnaces because they're backing up really hard. And that's where the problem solving comes in. I need to figure out where to put fuel and where to put the actual like extraction point, because these need to be extracted somehow. I'm just not sure. It's probably going to require more spacing. I'm probably going to need to space things better, and then I'm going to need to figure out an interesting conveyor belt solution. The problem is I have to get creative, and I'm not very good at that most of the time. But I'm starting to think maybe if I space them properly... I need to start having graph paper out while I play. Because if I can, like, write down theory, it might be easier. But let's go have a look at the copper really quick. Alright, there we go. Now we've got these burners down. Let's run this out this way. And then what we can do is we can put these here. Is that... yeah, it's far enough. Put these here. Then we run these bad boys to insert. Right? And that should cover it most of the way. And this needs to keep running. Ooh. Nope. 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 We'll get there. Now, as for fueling it, what we're gonna do is run this down like so. Run it across, because that should be close enough that the inserters function. Right? So now we just need to run the coal to fuel the things, you know, the things. Alright, so now we're running a decent amount of coal via the burner inserters. And I kind of hate how this looks, but that's A-okay. That's A-okay, function over form. Now, as for getting this stuff out, I have a series of questions that may or may not be answerable. I know there's a billion schematics online I can follow, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to Google with all my problems. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to use the Google machine. I want to learn by myself. I want to find things out naturally and not... oh, it's choking the fuel to the iron miners now. I have a solution. What we need to do... Don't laugh. Don't laugh. I know vaguely what I'm doing. What we need to do is set up a larger, like, set of miners with a better coal supply. And this is insane. So let's grab all this stone. Let's make, I need burner miners for this. I'm going to need, aside from burner miners... oh, I can make a lab. Perfect. Aside from burner miners, I have enough of everything else from the looks of things. And I can also make a couple of copper cables, which should unlock other things available. Stone brick recipe. Nice. Should unlock a couple of other things in the production line. Now, we do still need coal going the opposite direction. That's a fact. Also need fuel being sent to... back to the plan, though. Fueling all of these manually is the pain. And then this line will feed into a dozen other lines, and to a series of overflows. Right? Like, is that... I'm not cooking. I'm barely baking. God, I love this game, though. This game is so cool. We'll get those online soon. And then I think what we'll do is when we have electronic stuff running... Oh, perfect. Automation science back. It's been researched. What do we want to do next? I like guns. So I'm tempted to go with guns, but nope, electric mining drill. That's what we need. It's not about what we want, it's about what we need. So we need to set up the lab unit, which I have a lab in my inventory. How do I... Okay, so I do have questions. I'm working really hard to figure it out. How do I make that assembler again? The assembling machine is something I'm going to have to figure out once I get all this electrical bullshit rigged. I also have to cut down trees. Is there an easier way to get wood? Is there like a chainsaw or a wood harvesting machine or a gun that harvests wood for me and also mines up all the ores on the planet? Is there an orbital cannon I can use? No, I actually haven't used my gun very much. Do I want to venture out just as an excuse to use it? Oh yeah, I should be able to make the, well... Wait, how do I... Bitch, this chicken is cold. Where's my goddamn... Where's my GDMF power poles? How do I do this? You know what? I am gonna go start a fight just because I'm pissed, and I'll come back and do maintenance in a minute. We're going over to this big red splotch, which I've been informed is where the enemies are, and I'm gonna piss them off nice and good. Oh, holy shit!
Nope.
Holy shit!
Nope.
Holy shit!
Nope.
Holy shit!
Nope.
Spam spacebar! Spam spacebar! Holy holy shit! Oh my god! Is there permadeath in this game? Oh! I'm trying to walk him down. It's just there's a lot of them, and I'm very little. I'm a very little guy. I'm only one dude. I'm one dude. And there was never a doubt in my mind I was going to win that. Easy. GG easy. There was never a single doubt in my mind I was going to win that because I am the best. I am the greatest Factorio player of all time. I am mentally stable and can be trusted with a firearm. I annihilated them. They never stood a chance. They walked into my house on business, and I walked them clean on down. I should be in the next season of Stranger Things, okay? I am not afraid of anything. I did not panic. Look at how confident and smug I am, okay? In my hard hat with my light armor on. I never had a doubt in my mind that I was going to win that fight. There was no semblance of a lack of confidence. I am the GOAT. Look at my little run. So I didn't upload for a few days. And that's because I was hitting the, my mental health is shot shuffle. Which happens to oh, god damn it. I didn't think this through. I didn't space this correctly. I'm not stupid. So, what if we do this kind of system? Hang on. 1, 2, 3. And then... measure, so that's 2, and that's 2. So like right, can I turn the grid on? Is that like an option I have? Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna, so that's 2, that's 3. So that's the space we need. So we need that space right there. Oh wait, we actually need 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. because they need conveyor belts on each side, so actually we need 5, so right there? My math may be off. Like, and then this should... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, my math was off. I can't see the grid, so I'm kind of just eyeballing everything. God, if my old crew could see me now, they'd actually just slaughter me on the spot. I've had people say about me, this kid, not great at the labor stuff, which is actually fair, but they always said I was good at the thinking work, at the sit down and think stuff. And, huh? Oh, Dodoy, forgetting the lessons I learned already. At an accelerated pace, as that one commenter said. Seriously, though, shout out to that guy. I'm glad I got kind of shamed in the comments. Alright, and now, I need to fuel all these. And it will lead me to an excess. So, this one needs to go here, and this one needs to go here. Because these are going to fill up. And then this needs to run this way. And this needs to run this way. And then these need to connect. So what I'm going to do is do that. And then both will be, like, endlessly fed. There's got to be a smarter way to do this. Nope. I'm just going to figure it out on my own. I trust my own intelligence. And then there should be a third one for the overflow, because there's going to be a lot of overflow from this. So what it's going to be is a box, and then we're going to go down one, and we're going to put another box. So this is going to feed box to box. And I got this. I'm so excited for the trains. That's the big thing. I want trains. There we go. That's the kind of coal I'm looking for. So this goes here. Then this goes here. Then we kind of just have a... Oh, they're fueling themselves. This is good. I want to see the burners fuel themselves because I don't want to put up with fueling the arms for the burners endlessly. The burner inserters, that's what they're called. So my buddy was actually, when he found out I was talking about getting into Factorio, was actually talking about, like, no, you shouldn't. And I was like, why? And he was like, I'm worried you're gonna ruin your life, dude. He was talking about some, you're gonna neglect your family, you're gonna neglect your friends, you're gonna quit your job. He was so worried about that one. He was so worried that I was just gonna lose everything in my life to this game. And I'm gonna be honest, I get it now. I understand why he thought that. I'm worried for myself. You know, I'm noticing we have all this conveyor line here. I'm having a thought. Can conveyor lines cross each other? Hang on. Okay, so that one goes there, and then this one. Missing underground belt. There's technology I need for that, and then they can cross each other. But no, I'm just kind of wondering, you know, we can probably fix this back up a little. If. Just a thought. Just a thought. So, how many of these do I need? 2, I have 6 there, or is that 7? Alright, so I got 7 there. And I still need walkways. But if I run these this way, these get loaded into the smelters. Then I'm just gonna smack fuel into these. Can't wait till I get these electric inserters done. But if I put these like so, and then I run some of these bad boys down, you just gotta trust me. Noticed a lot of unused space here. Now, a lot of unused material, a lot of unused space, and then we can also set it up so when they back up, they feed into each other. So it's like a funnel. And then, if they back up too far, we can put a box here that'll pick up all the excess. I'm gonna need a couple of these, but using overflows I think would be really smart. And then these go here like so. Yeah! Yes! Okay, now the box goes here. So everything feeds into the box as an overflow system. I need electricity and I need it now. Probably polluting the hell out of the world. Okay, so let's go check on our main feed line. They're still feeding, which is good. Then this is actually going to need a more efficient overflow system. Backups affect bottom lines. I don't want my bottom lines affected, and I also still don't know exactly how I'm gonna make a an out for the plates. I don't understand. I don't quite get it. You know what? I'll figure that out when I get there. What matters now is grabbing just as much coal as possible, fueling the coal lines. There we go. Now it's taking like just the right amount. Each one of these boxes will fill with coal, and all these arms are going to keep themselves fueled. All the coal producing arms are going to fuel themselves. We need more conveyor belts. We need more conveyor belts, a significant amount more. 160 ought to do the trick. We're going to be here for a minute. Only there was an easier way to fuel these. So there is something that I actually did want to talk about that actually pertains to what I'm dealing with right here, right now. Starting at square zero, right? Starting at the bottom rung. Starting at the bottom rung, I believe, is important in anything. Starting at the very bottom and then developing from there. I think that is one of the most important things you can do. Will you burn logs in the meantime? Yes! Starting at the bottom rung and then building up naturally. Finding yourself, finding your skills, your talents, the things you're good at, the things you know how to do really well. I mean, look at this. I didn't know I could do this, and I know there's some expert player out there who is scoffing at me, saying you've done it in the most inefficient way possible. Right? But that's good! That's good! I'm learning, I'm developing. Look at this! This is well organized, I think. Please don't tell me if it's not. It'll hurt my fifis. I'm a very sensitive individual. I just got out of a mental health crisis. Mario! But I think that, like, starting at the very, very bottom and finding yourself naturally. I never want to imitate the big guys. Not on YouTube. Not in Factorio. None of that. I don't want to imitate the big guys. I don't want to do any of that. I want to turn people into dinosaurs, okay? And I want to figure out how to turn people into dinosaurs all on my own. And generally, advice in the comments is really cool. I appreciate that. At any given time, just speaking up, being part of the crowd is very welcome. I really appreciate when people have comments about my videos. It's super cool. But I'm just kind of figuring it out. And I think that it's really important to have that in any aspect of life. I try to do that with my YouTube channel especially. I don't want to emulate Jacksepticeye or Markiplier. I don't want to emulate the big guys. I don't want to start somewhere. I want to start in the middle of nowhere and wander my way up. I think that's the most authentic way to do it. I don't know. Call me pretentious. Call me whatever you please. The names don't bother me. I don't have time to be bothered by people calling me names on the internet. I have significantly bigger things to worry about. I've been on the internet for a long time, and I know that by putting myself out there, I'm at risk of getting called names or people saying mean things. Oh no, mean things. I don't care. I don't have a reason to care. The only reason I care is to laugh at it with my friends. My friends and I love to get together and laugh at people calling me mean things on the internet. It's one of our favorite things to do, actually. It's free entertainment is what it is. Yeah, I think we have enough conveyor belts. So, we just run these in the exact same system we've been using. This will be a nice long line of smelters. I need better walkways. That's something I need desperately. Okay, so, arms. Arms go here. Or inserters. They're arms. They line up like this, so that any excess gets fueled into the system again. So, theoretically, none of these should ever go without fuel. The issue that I'm going to be worried about fueling is this part right here. Oh, that's a lot of visible pollution. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. If anything gets polluted to a point, whatever. I've got it covered. I've got it figured out. I know how to use my loaded firearm. Now, I also have this space, which can be used for something else. But I'm not sure what just yet. Probably more smelters. Now we're slowing up the process, which is good. I want to see empty smelters at the end of the line. I want to see busy smelters at the front. That means there's room to improve. And I think the way that I'm going to do this is put some more miners back here. Oh, hang on. Not giving them enough space. Let's back up a little more. There we go. This is open-endedness. The open-endedness will allow for me to add on as needed. That's the goal, right? To add on as needed. That's how growth works. This functions in your personal life too. Always give yourself room. If you see something that functions as just potential, buddy, you got room to put something there. Go on, do it. Do it while you got a chance, okay? And now the way this is gonna work, so I'm gonna have these two here, which are going to feed into each other, coming down this way. I'm gonna need some more burners for this one. Or some more inserters for the electrical pulse. Oh my god, electrical pulse, electrical pulse. Finally, thank God. There is mercy in the world. Oh, and I just got all the inserters set up. Reduce, reuse, recycle, I guess. What's it gonna take to make that? Let's see. Next research. Oh, I need to set up the lab. I'm so stupid. Ooh. That's rough, buddy. But I have the electrical poles now. So, utilizing these smartly, I can hook up the power grid and at least start to use these inserters. We're gonna start tearing down inserters as needed and replacing them with the electrical ones. So now, gosh, I'm losing control of my fancy buttons now. But there's gotta be, yeah, these in-between spaces are good for putting down power poles. And if we just grid this up, perfect. Wow, that looks awful. That is some serious spaghetti. I got an achievement. Steam power. Start producing electric power by steam engine. Nice. Wow, that's spaghetti's fine. Yeah, spaghetti's fine. Point is, I need more copper. And then I'm back to wondering. It's nice to see those running. I have an idea that requires me to tear down literally everything. Do I have time for that this video? Not this video. Not this one. But I think in the next one, we're going to tear down everything. Because I've got a plan, Arthur. I've got a goddamn plan. And we're going to make this work. So, I will catch you next time on FACTORIOTRON. Alright, tune in, drop out, take it easy, but take it, and best of luck, off you go.